Hello and welcome to the Stouting Off podcast, where we talk about the most important things in life. This is episode 53. We're excited to dive right into things, but before we do, would you do me a favor and subscribe to this podcast, as well as share it with any friends, family, colleagues, loved ones, and maybe, just maybe, sprinkle in a share with a stranger here or there. Could you imagine that? Without much further ado, here comes episode 53 of the Stouting Off podcast. Okay, and hello is what I meant to say instead of okay 3 times. My name's Drew Stoutenberg, and this is the Stouting Off podcast, episode number 53. Are you new here? Are you new around these parts? If so, now is a great time to enter the family. So we're happy that you're here. We're glad that you're with us. And by us, I mean myself, Drew, Jordan, and Will joining me remotely from Michigan. Hi, guys.
Hi.
Yeah.
Hi.
Yeah. Hi. Yeah.
Okay.
That's from the movie Heavyweights from 1994 or so. Hi.
Announcing
Gen
that
Z
like Casey Kasem.
I wasn't I?
That's from Heavyweights, 1974.
What you just heard was... Hey, is Casey Kasem still alive?
No.
Wow.
I said that extremely definitively without actually knowing.
Yeah, so I was really shocked about that, and I liked it. I liked the confidence with which you said that.
This is where everybody gets their news, so if tuning in right now.
2 times
Casey
in a row,
Kasem
man.
has passed.
2 times in a row, I felt like... Do you remember when we started this podcast and I was just sitting off in a corner and I would fact check literally everything you said?
Yes.
First thing was Heavyweights, 1994, ? Second thing,
Yes.
Casey Kasem, is he dead?
We're already in just throwing out things that aren't fully true. But I will say with 100% certainty that Casey Kasem did die on June 15th, 2014. So you were right, Billiards. Weird to clap for somebody dying. I don't know. That's weird.
God rest his soul.
Yeah, rest in peace. He was born in Detroit, Michigan, turns out, 1932.
Yeah. There's a woman who lives down the street from my mom who is related to him.
Really?
Yeah. Sandy Kasem.
No, actually?
Actually with Kasem last name, yeah.
No kidding.
Respect. You know, it's so funny that we bring up, is he alive or dead? Because I talked to you guys just very briefly, and it said I wanted to play a game with you when we hit record, and you guys did not know what I'm talking about, and you still don't. But in about 3 seconds after I explain it, you are going to know. So here it is.
The game is Casey Kasem dead?
Based on his death year.
One
okay,
question.
the year is 2016. Is he dead now?
You know, going into
is
this, I
1940.
started to explain a game I wanted to play, and then you guys ruined it. So let's pretend like you didn't. The game is called "Is Casey Kasem Dead or Not?"
And go.
And I put you in various times throughout history, and you have to determine and answer whether or not Casey Kasem is dead at that point in history. The year is 1863. Is Casey Kasem dead? But it's a weird idea for a game, but I think it'll spur some nice conversation.
We'll talk to Hasbro tomorrow.
Oh, we'll put a patent on it for Milton Bradley. More of a Milton Bradley guy. Is this celebrity dead or alive? Is the name of the game. And that's when you guys were talking to me before the show and I wasn't saying anything and I was on my phone. I was looking up a few key celebrities that are either surprisingly dead or surprisingly not
This
dead.
is kind of the game we were just talking about, but multiple celebrities.
But multiple celebrities instead of just Casey Kasem, yeah.
Yes.
That's
yes.
awesome.
That's
We
why it's a
guessed it.
hilarious segue that happened to be like that. Is this celebrity alive or dead? Bob Barker.
Oh, wow. That is a tough one. Did he die?
Gotta be dead.
I'm
Jordan
gonna
says
say
dead.
I'm gonna say he's with us. He's just in hiding.
So does that mean alive?
That means he's alive somewhere hiding.
Or is that like
In a
Elvis
casket.
type conspiracy where he's living in Cuba? And So you think he's alive?
Bob
he just
Barker's
hasn't been vocal?
living off the coast of France in a
Yes.
tiny remote village. Yeah.
Yes.
I don't want to say he's dead, but I'm just going to go against the grain
In
here
Happy
and say
Gilmore,
he's
he
still
was
with us.
probably like
105.
early 70s, and that was
Yeah.
the 90s. So he's got to be, if he's alive, he's got to be mid 90s.
Yeah.
So Jordan says dead. Will says alive. Bob Barker is alive.
I knew
and
it,
he's
dude.
98 years old.
Wow.
He will be 100.
Unbelievable.
He will be 100 in December of 2024. Yep.
Dang.
Wow. He was the
He'll be
Price is
100.
Right, right?
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
He's got to stay with us. We need him hitting 100. Although Betty White died last December, and she was on the cusp of 100 as well, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. that's
John
cool.
Madden. John Madden, the football guy, alive or dead?
He's gone.
Jordan? Do you
Has
know
to
who
be
John
gone.
Madden is?
I do. The white haired,
Yeah.
probably once blonde.
He's gone.
Okay. He's gone.
He's gone.
I phoned a friend.
Tragically, he is gone.
Yeah.
He is. So, yeah. What are your scores so far? Will has one. Jordan, you have...
Technically
Will
one.
has two.
Yeah. I technically have one, but I piggybacked. But how can you not?
No, you have one.
Yeah, I won.
Dwayne the Dog Chapman.
Oh,
Dog
he's
the
alive.
Bounty Hunter.
He was just doing remember, he stepped in on that high-profile case recently.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
He did.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. So I forgot about that when I thought about him.
Did everybody think he was dead at one point? Or something tragic happened to him? Maybe his wife?
His wife
Well, that's
died.
a good segue.
That would have been
Beth Chapman.
Beth Chapman
That's
would
my
have been
next one. Beth Chapman was my next one. So Beth Chapman tragically is deceased. Fun way to open up a show, isn't it? Isn't this a good time? Good
Yeah.
icebreaker?
Yeah.
Dick Van Dyke.
Dick Van Dyke.
Yeah.
Dick Van Dyke is still. Am I thinking of the same person? Dick Van Dyke? Yeah, he's alive.
Dick Van Dyke was in some classic, like black and white stuff, movies, musicals.
Man, I don't know. I'll guess that he's dead just for sake of...
Just for conversation?
Yeah.
No, Jordan, you can go for the win. I mean, you can go
But
for
I
it
don't
if you want
know.
points. Well, he's alive, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And he's 96. He was born December 13th, 1925, a year before the Red Wings as an organization was
Same.
founded.
3
Dick
years
Van Dyke
before...
show.
3 years before Bob Barker.
That's right. Also in December. Bob Barker's also December. Okay. Larry King.
He's still with us.
Alive.
Larry King is, in fact, alive. He's still with us.
Gary
Nope.
Garris.
Nope, he's not. He's not. He died January 21st.
Of this year?
January 23rd of 2021. He died a year ago.
Oh.
Larry King?
Wow. Larry King is no longer with us. He's dead.
Man. Rest in peace.
And
It's pretty old.
wow, I thought I had him written down as alive because I was looking at an older article to find his thing. Dustin Diamond, a.k.a. Screech from Saved by the Bell.
Dustin Diamond.
Something
guys ever
weird
watch
happened
Saved by
with
the-
him.
Yeah, I can't imagine he's dead, but I think he's not well.
Also, maybe
He's
the
not
reason
well.
why I think he's dead is because you bring him up once a year.
A quarter, once
Yeah.
a quarter. Four
All right,
times a
I'll
year.
take alive on this one.
He's alive.
Screech is dead.
Did he die?
He died. I don't know what it was. It may have been drug related, may have been health related.
Oh my
He-
gosh.
He just Saved by the Bell did a number on this guy, you know?
Did to all of us.
Jeez.
I
All
know,
that
that's why-
bullying?
No, he was a celebrity, but his peers were Slater and Zach, Mario Lopez and Mark Paul Gosselaar, just like the hottest guys for that age group at that time, you know?
Yeah.
Larry King's dead, though. Didn't know that when I wrote that, and so I just learned that as well. Another one gone too soon.
Can't believe
He
Screech is dead.
Way too soon. Larry King. Way too soon. I wasn't ready for that.
How old was he?
Guy was just getting into his prime.
He was in his 90s.
So sad.
Oh, he was 90. Anyway,
He
that
literally looked
concludes-
like dust.
He did for the last like 20 years as
Yeah.
well. Jimmy Fallon does a hilarious impersonation of him. And he's like hunched over on the desk, and he's like, "In case you're just joining us, yes, these are my real shoulders." His shoulders would be all the way up here, touching his ears. He'd always be hunched over on his desk.
That was
with
in the best of
1950s.
Jimmy Fallon, dude. Do you remember?
Yes.
And I
I'll
think
never
that was the
forget that.
only line in that segment too.
It was because he was going through all his impersonations. His
I would
impressions
love
and
to
stuff.
freaking watch that. By the way,
Somebody has that on DVD.
Danny Black.
He does. Chris Rock in blackface in that, though, which is
True.
That's cancel material right there.
Yeah.
Even though nobody was making a stink about it at the time,
Right.
but let's cancel him.
Cancel.
Jimmy Fallon's one of the good guys, though, man. You can't cancel him.
We love him.
You guys ever go camping as kids?
Oh, yeah.
Not as a kid, but as an adult.
Interesting.
Yeah, that is interesting.
Never went as a kid.
Your dad's not a camp guy?
Oh, he totally is. Just like, no. He was
No,
gone a
fair.
lot.
Fair. I was thinking about this today because I was moving stuff around down in my crawl space, and I came across my cooler that I've only used like 3 or 4 times, and all my camping stuff, my cooler, my camp stove, lantern, all the things down there. And I was recalling old memories of camping with my dad, and specifically with this freaking cooler. Dad used to like pack. The way he would pack a cooler was meticulous. Dads in general, I think, if they're boomers or older, have a special affinity for packing coolers with food and drink and lunch and all the things. But my dad would pack stuff, and none of it would be separated out, and so it would always be sandwich stuff, and you'd pull out a loaf of bread out of the cooler, dude. You'd pull out just a bag of lunch meat just straight out of the cooler, and everything would be wet always because nothing gets sealed in that.
Right.
And that's disgusting.
Yeah.
Would you agree with that?
Yeah.
And so that's that whole entire story that I had to say. But if I was wondering if you guys grew up going camping and going on day trips or boats, like you guys had a boat, right, Jord?
Yep.
If you guys packed a cooler for the day,
Oh, yeah.
were your dads packing the coolers like that?
Yeah, it's overpacking for sure. And
just like
it's packing wrong. Or my dad's the kind of guy to pack 3 coolers and they're all overflowing. Too many things, or not enough.
My thing would be,
both ends of the spectrum there.
it would be making a wet sandwich that would bother me.
Mm.
Yeah.
I'm a tactile guy. I don't, I experience the world through touching and feeling and what things feel like, and like most of us.
The bread's all smashed.
Yeah, and wet.
Yep.
In wet.
Yeah.
Were you about to say something, Will?
My dad, meticulous is not really in his vocabulary to begin with, but especially when it comes to packing coolers.
Yeah.
I mean, the most random stuff tossed in there. 85% of it is beer, and then there's maybe 1 stack of bologna and some type of meat, some random type of meat. And he would always ask me to
when you say meat, you're not talking lunch meat, right?
No.
It would be like
pork shoulder for some reason
liver
in the cooler.
jerky or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
Pork shoulder for a picnic.
Yeah. Go get the pork shoulder out of the I'm like 5. I'm like, I don't know what a pork shoulder looks like. Oh, well, it's only one of 3 things in here. So that's all we have for the weekend.
It's not beer. It's not the bologna. It's the other thing.
Not a bit of Gatorade. Nothing to rehydrate with in sight at all.
You had to drink beer at
Just
5.
go over to the well and put some in
You're
a bucket.
thirsty.
Like I'm in the Great Depression, dude, camping.
Dad, did you bring any water? No, just go get a beer.
Just go get a
beer.
pork shoulder.
It's mostly water. Just go get.
Just take the water out of the pork shoulder bag.
There's a little nozzle on the bottom of the cooler. Just use that.
Hey, I love the idea that, Dad, is there anything for me to drink in here? Yeah, just grab the pork shoulder.
Yeah.
Somehow he could be quenched by that.
The pork shoulder's in the top. Grab that. All right.
You're like, Dad, it's not what I asked, but
Yeah.
okay, I'm 5. Oh, that's great.
Yeah, I don't recall him ever being meticulous about pack. I would always rely on like my aunt. If we were going on like a larger family trip, like a Camp Dearborn I'm not talking about wilderness stuff here.
Sure.
At all.
You're talking about just municipal kind of in the city overnight camp thing.
Yeah, you live like a hillbilly for a night.
That's right.
Yeah, I would always rely on them for food and whatever else. But I was just telling somebody about this the other day. We went after high school graduation. My friend had property up in Kalkaska, Michigan, which is like 45 minutes south of Traverse City. So it's a decent drive to get up there and stuff. And I have this friend who always wanted to be like sort of a not macho man. I don't think that's the right word, but he would like smoke Lucky Strike cigarettes, which have no filter on them. So he's like a World War II soldier. He's just like, I don't know.
He had trench foot.
He
a World War
said
II
he'd like
soldier.
to go. He had gout in one year in high school. Couldn't figure that out. Blackfoot, rot gut, all these 17th century diseases. No, but
just to be cool.
Yeah, just to be cool, dude. He thought he was so cool for it, having rot gut. But so we drive up north, and up there, you guys have been plenty of times up north. There's like those jerky outlets, right?
Yeah,
and stuff.
Yeah.
So there's like this big jerky outlet. It's like the size of a Bass Pro Shop, and he's like, "Well, let's pull over there and get some blah blah blah." I'm like, We're going up here for a night. I don't need a bag of jerky, dude. So I'm complicit because I'm a passenger in the car. We pull over. We get a couple things. We leave, and I didn't know what he bought. I thought he just bought jerky, snacks, whatever.
Sure.
We go up north. We spend the night. We go back home. And I was living with my friends at the time. So he drops us off. He leaves. And a couple of us are like unpacking, get everything sorted. We open up that cooler. The worst smell on the planet because Lou decided to buy a hunk of whitefish at the jerky outlet and left it in the bottom of the cooler. Didn't even touch it because had to be a man.
That sounds like a prank that he was pulling on you, or like a trap.
It was like right in the center of the bottom of the cooler, like he had planted it there. It was awful.
That is horrible.
Was it whitefish jerky?
But dude, it could have been.
It was just a fillet of like.
Yeah, it was just like a fillet.
It was just a fillet of fish.
It was just a fillet of fish, fillet of whitefish, and
it's worst smelling dinner I've ever seen. It was just it's just a fillet of fish.
It's just a fillet of fish in there, dude.
McDonald's fillet of fish.
I couldn't believe it. It was shocking. Shocking was the proper.
Yeah. Oh, it's horrible.
I never went camping as a kid. Now I wish I would have, and now I think I want to take my kids so they can.
Yeah, totally. It's great. Honestly, we only did it because we didn't have a ton of money, and it's a cheap way to get out and do something and expose your kids to cool stuff.
Yeah.
And it's only like probably $50 round trip outside of gas, like the parking or like the camping fee at like a state park is like $10 a night.
That's pretty cool. I never really thought of it. When Monica and I go camping, like we've been with our friends before, pre-kids, and it's just like mad bougie. Like I have a huge tent, a 10-person tent.
Yeah, with rooms and stuff, probably.
Rooms and stuff like that. Yeah. Air mattresses. Not air conditioner, but like air mattress and like all this stuff, which makes it really fun. But like I went to REI before we went and got like a fire grate with like all these sweet pans and all this stuff.
Yeah.
And I've used it once.
Yeah. That's the thing. Camping stuff is very rarely like used. It's seldom used. So I don't like storing a lot of stuff. So I keep a minimal camp stuff. But on the other side of that same coin, that's not how the saying goes at all, but just whatever. Couldn't recall it on the fly. But that means when I go camping, I don't have a ton of stuff. And that's not to be cool survival guy who puts fish in a cooler. I'm just saying that I don't like to have a lot of stuff. Hey, but I will say, Will, do you remember when we went on the whitewater rafting trip the first year and we were in our tent and we both had queen-sized inflatable mattresses that were like 2 feet off the ground, I'm pretty sure.
It was like a Marriott in there.
There was no floor space anywhere either.
Zero.
It was only, we were just.
You enter the tent, you're in bed.
Yes.
You're in a bed.
Oh man,
Yeah.
and that was the night that you came up with that character, the baseball manager.
Yes.
And we were howling laughing.
Yes.
Even after everybody went, because we went with our other two buddies, Matt and Johnny. Matt and Johnny were in a tent, Will and I were in a tent, and their tent was across the campsite. But even after, we were laughing for like 2 hours about this thing, this impression that he did. And we went into our tent, and we could just hear them laughing still in their tent into the night, dude. It was just.
It's like coyotes calling to each other from across the forest. That's what it was like.
Oh man, that's great. Jordan, have you been whitewater rafting before?
Never.
You know how high my voice
once.
gets when I talk about whitewater?
It always does.
Always does.
Yeah, I
Always
went once. I was on like a vacation. I can't remember what it was, but it was part of an event. Yeah.
Let's try to go this summer somehow, some way.
Okay.
Back to the same spot, man. This place is heaven on earth. We go in Pennsylvania. Ohio Pile is the name of the town.
Yeah,
That's good.
I'd
It's a big,
go.
big
I'd
pile
go.
of Ohio. Yeah.
Make
Yeah,
sure the
it's
gas
nice.
tank's full. Make sure I'm looking out behind my car, and make sure I'm not speeding.
We piled into his
My
Ford
Taurus show.
Yeah. It's a 4-door, like kind of like big sedan. It was kind of like it wasn't luxury sedan, but it was a nicer version of the Ford Taurus.
Yeah, it was about as luxurious as you can get in a Ford vehicle at that time.
Yeah. And it was nice and just a big car. Yeah. And so we rolled into town.
Yep. So this is the first year where 4 of us went. So there's
Yeah.
four of us in my car, and we get an early start. We all meet at his house, Drew's house, when he lived here, and got an early start. Got on the road, and everything was all good. And then I was driving through Pennsylvania, and I think I was doing 87 and a 70 or something, and immediately lights come on behind me.
Got pulled over.
Perfect. Doesn't let me off. Perfect. $200. Perfect. So everything is going according to plan so far.
Yes, totally.
That was
And
a
it's
part
only
of
a
the
4 or
plan.
5 hour drive too. Like we shouldn't have gotten pinged. It's not like
No.
there wasn't if you're going 87 for a 10-hour road trip, then there's much more greater likelihood you're going to get pulled
Yeah.
over. But we weren't expecting to get pulled
No.
over. In
Yeah.
in,
So that
Pennsylvania.
happens. And then we were pretty close to the entry to the campgrounds, which when you go there, you have to go up like this giant 2-lane road that goes up like a hill. And
It's mountainous.
it's it's crazy. So I'm coming down this road, and it like there's like a hill in the road, and then I get to the bottom of that hill, and I realize that I have to turn left. So I kind of I don't stomp on my brakes, but I stop a little bit quickly. The car that's coming over the hill apparently doesn't see me stopping and has to slam on their brakes, and then they veer off into a field to the right. I'm watching all this unfold in my rearview mirror, like what's happening. And they don't know what's going on. They just look to the right, and the bumper's flying in the air off this car.
Yes.
And then I'm like, what the? These people get out of their car. They start screaming at me, and their fists are in the air. And like,
What?
We just turned.
They're coming
we
out-
just turned by.
they're like, want to come out with pitchforks. I'm like, I didn't do anything. You didn't hit me. I didn't hit you. This is not my fault. See ya. And I just drove off into the sunset, left them.
We're
with
at campsite G7. Bye.
The campsite's right there. You just pull into it.
They jump onto our raft while we're going down the river. So
great.
So
With
that
pitchforks.
happens. So this is all within a span of a couple hours. So
Hey, what was funny about that, by the way, is that you and I saw them. I remember them flying up next to us and
Yeah.
going off into the field and stuff. But Johnny and Matt in the back seat had no idea. So I looked like that, and I whipped around. So did you guys see that? And they were both like just chilling, didn't
Yeah.
see it. And the dichotomy of experiences that those two guys were experiencing and what those people were experiencing
Yes.
in that moment,
yes,
just vastly different.
vastly different.
That was pure chaos. It's fear,
Yeah.
risk, and these guys were just totally
just hanging out,
docile.
enjoying the AC, living life, no problem.
It's like the scene out of a movie or something.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's like that.
That's awesome.
Oh, it's great.
So yeah, within a couple of hours, I've gotten a ticket. I've almost demolished the rear end of my car with another car, and had to drive away from people holding pitchforks, basically. And then, basically, I really didn't know where the campsite was or whatever. So, I've got the address phone, and we're going up this big hill. Service is going in and out, everything else, and it tells me where the campsite entrance is. And I'm like, this can't be it. I don't see any signs. I don't see any gate. I don't see anything.
There's not even a roadway.
No, but there's like a little bit of a clearing in between the trees, and we're like at like the very top of a hill. Didn't make any sense. There's like a little bit of a clearing in between trees, so I just veer off the road, assuming that it's like a private driveway to the campsite. No, it's just a clearing in the brush, and I drop off this like 2 foot thing or whatever. I don't remember how big it was.
2 feet.
Yeah,
it went from paved like to no shoulder at all, and just a 2 foot gap, and then just gravel.
Yeah.
And then we turned down that.
I decided that was a good way to get to the campsite.
In the Ford Taurus.
In the Taurus, dude. Zero clearance. So
we were crying the whole way there, man. That was great.
I get out of that, and then I'm like, well, I'm about to run out of gas. Because I'm figuring that once we get into the town, there's going to be a gas station, and we're this close. We're like a quarter mile. I'm on E. I'm riding on E, trying to find this campsite after pulling into the ravine. And dude, I don't remember where we ended up going, but somehow I got gas. Did we make it to the town and then I got gas?
We got gas, and that was actually after we got gas was when the guys sped past us onto the But so when after we did the shoulder thing, we're like, we got to get some gas, so we drove around.
That's what you thought about.
The first thing
we fell off the road. Demolish Will's fender, and we said, we got to get some gas.
Well, your tank is leaking now, so we got to get some gas.
You just tore the bottom half out of your car. We better get some gas.
The first thing wasn't, oh man, are we going to be able to get out of this thing, or do we need to call a tow truck? It was no. When's the last time you got your oil changed?
How you doing on washer fluid?
When's the last time you got your oil changed?
My car's in shambles. When do you have a tire rotation recently?
Yeah, these are summer tires. Wow, that's great. That's a fun trip.
It was.
So I had a client reach out to me, actually it was a random person reach out to me, and they were like, "Hey, I know you do this, and that, and stuff like that. I'd like to do some things with you and all this stuff." So I was like, yeah, awesome, sweet. And then, so we started talking, and I was like, first of all, how did he find me? And second of all, what does it look like when someone searches my name? So I logged out of Facebook, because this was on Facebook, logged out of Facebook, entered my name in, and I found out that there are over 20 people with my exact name.
Wow. Really? McMillion.
Jordan, Jordan, McMillion, McMillion.
Wow.
So I was, I was like, what's it look like when somebody searches my name? I wanted to see it. And I was like 4th on the list or something like that, logged out, all the stuff. But then I decided to literally message every single one of them. And I said, hey, my name's Jordan McMillion too. It's nice to meet you. I said something more clever than that. But yeah, I got 7 responses, and one of the dudes was like, "This is crazy. I've never thought to do this. I didn't know. I figured people had similar names."
Sure.
But he's like, we should start a club and get together once a year.
That would be hilarious.
Dude, wouldn't that be funny?
It honestly would, because as little as that seems, we just have the same name. You guys maybe you are in some distant way related. McMillion is probably goes back to some common ancestor, but as little as that seems, there's something to be said about sharing the exact same name with somebody, and you would at the very least you would have some degree of instant rapport. you know, a very significant part of your lives is the same thing,
right?
I think the same.
I was telling Monica, I was like, what if this person has lived my exact life?
It's a parallel life.
But I don't know about him, and he doesn't know about me. Actually, that brings up a good point. 2 of them were girls.
Oh.
Yeah. With Jordan McMillion.
Didn't think about that.
Yeah.
Didn't think about that.
2 of them were girls.
Are either of them single? because that would be hilarious for
Do you want to date me?
or Will to marry a Jordan McMillian.
Dude,
I would take
remember.
her name just so she could keep the McMillian.
I think one of the girls, there were 3 total, but 2 had AN and 1 had EN. Yeah, but anyway.
Close enough.
I stayed up one night probably from 11 to 1 in the morning just texting these people. Or not texting, but Facebook messaging, being like, hey, my name's Jordan McMillian too. I did this random search, and I thought it would be weird if I didn't reach out at this point. It was well received too.
There's a guy that I know. His name's Josh.
Durand.
Josh Slater. Josh Durand. No, it's Josh Slater, I think. And he has a group chat with a bunch of Joshes from. It's either on Facebook or Instagram or something, or it might even be just like on his phone, like a group message thread. But they just talk about being Joshes all the time. Just like there's like 20 Joshes in there, and everything they have to say about is just about being a Josh.
Classic.
And
Josh.
who's the greatest? And who's the greatest Josh? And it's all like this.
There's got to be
funny.
competition for sure.
Yeah,
That's
course.
awesome.
Yeah.
Of course. Did you guys notice that you can't really see it on camera too much, but did you notice I started to do a little bit of a mullet situation?
I did notice.
I did.
Can you kind of see it like come out a little bit behind the ears?
A little bit, yeah.
I can. It just looks like your hair is long with the hat on, but
Currently has like a Dylan Larkin look.
yeah.
Yeah, Dylan Larkin has a little bit of a mild mullet as well.
Yeah, mild mullet.
Mild mullet.
It's the Mullet Mile. It's probably a place on a Kentucky highway somewhere. The Mullet Mile.
Yeah,
And
dude,
we went cruising on our bikes on the Mullet Mile the other week.
Yeah.
It's a pilgrimage that bikers from all over the country make.
Oh, yeah.
It's like Sturgis, dude.
It's crazy, man. Tons of twists and turns on that Mullet Mile.
Yeah, I put 150 miles on this thing this month, but next month I'm going to the Mullet Mile.
I'm going to the Mullet Mile.
Gotta get a tune-up going on Mullet Mile next month.
Hey, speaking of, I want to come back to the mullet, but speaking of motorcycles, did your dad ever end up doing anything with his motorcycle? Billiards?
Mine?
Yes.
He rode it to the end of the driveway and then took it right back in the garage.
I remember a couple summers ago, he bought the bike and he went through the course, right?
Yeah.
And then he never rode it.
Never
one
rode
time.
it. Nope.
What's he doing with it?
It's just sitting in a garage. Yeah, I like even if he had bought that like 20 or 30 years ago, I would still be like, no, you probably shouldn't, because the tire weighs more than you. So like he hopped on it and he just took it to like not even all the way down the block, I don't think, like halfway down the block, and then took it right back in the garage, and that's where it's been.
Yeah. Dude, big bikes are scary. They're powerful machines, man. You have to have a serious command over how they work.
Yeah.
I saw a guy wipe out on a a motorcycle on the on this little like country drive around here. I didn't see him, but I saw moments after. I saw the bike and the wheel was still spinning, and he was just on like the he was okay. He was just sitting like on the grass, like, what just happened?
Yeah.
Dang.
It was on Riverside.
I was
trying
going to ask
explain
if it
what
was
that
on
is.
Riverside, yeah.
Which is only a 35 mile an hour speed limit.
You went
so
like
it's
this,
not like,
and I knew it was Riverside, dude.
yeah, exactly.
I swear. Yeah.
I rollerbladed down that to get to your house one time. Man. It was tough. Speaking of mullets, I always wanted to, like when I was a kid, I always wanted to have a mullet. I kind of thought about it at least. But by the same token, I got the expression right that time, kids who had mullets and rat tails of any kind were scary to me.
Mm-hmm.
I always thought they were dangerous. They would hurt me. Like
they're running around
city
streets
softer
after dark. And
yes.
Yeah.
I was like much softer than them is what I thought. Like they were like, they probably swear and stuff is what I thought when I was
and drool.
yeah, they
And
they swear
drool,
and
dude.
drool. They drool while they swear.
Yes,
Yeah.
the worst kind of kid. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's so appetizing to them when they swear that they drool from it.
They're like, we love being bad kids. I always had a buzz cut when I was a kid.
Did you?
Yeah,
Same.
I was mostly buzz guy.
I was mostly a buzz cut as well, but I had a bowl cut when I was young, probably from like the age of 3 to 5 or 6 or something like that.
Oh, nice.
And I had like bright blonde hair too, so I just looked like I didn't even know. I don't know. So I had a bowl cut, but then once I started getting a little bit older, I went to buzz cut and stuff. But sometimes, like, I got into 5th or 6th grade, and I'm like, I kind of want to like style my hair. Like that's when bleaching your hair or your tips or whatever became popular. And putting gel in your hair. And like so much gel that it was like concrete, like you could not move my hair.
Yes,
yeah.
When I was doing
like
that.
it's like it's hard and wet. Like it's not wet feeling, but it's like plasticky feeling to the touch.
Yeah, 100%.
I remember that gel was like a whole thing, man.
Oh yeah. I put way too much, just like a quarter pound in my palm.
I had a gel called Ice. I forget who makes it, but it was like a blue and white bottle, and it was called Ice.
It was kind of see-through?
Yeah, see-through, yep.
Yeah, and you could see the bubbles in there.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like, I want to freaking squirt that stuff into my hair. Just directly right onto my scalp.
As much as I can get into my palms, and then right in it goes. Yeah.
Dude, gel is funny. I've played with gel for costumes and stuff in my adult life, and it's still fun and funny. It's fun to use.
Lifetime Fitness has gel in one of the 3 bottles that they have. Lotion,
yeah, they do lotion and gel shaving cream.
And shaving cream.
But who's using gel?
I put gel in my hair once.
You can do a little bit of amount.
You can do a little bit and then blow dry it so it like kind of, is a little bit more free. I was in a pinch.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I've done that too.
So after the bowl cut and I started doing buzz cuts and stuff, my mom would cut my hair. From time to time in the basement, sit me down in a kitchen chair, get the clippers out that are probably 20 years old. And then she couldn't see super up close. Her vision wasn't great. And then so she would cut my hair, and then I'd go to school and I'd find like 75 inch long hairs all around my head. That felt nice. And then sometimes after school, she'd be like, well, you want to go get a haircut? She would take me to this barber shop in, I think it was Dearborn Heights or something, and it was called Al's Barber Shop. And this is the type of place that hadn't changed in 50 years.
Who do you think owned it?
It was probably Demetrius, if I had to guess.
That sounds about right. That's right.
It's probably Frank.
You just
Demetrius owns Al's Barber Shop.
Demetrius. And he's the original owner too. It's like the equivalent of like a pen name when an author has a different name on the cover.
Yes.
All right. So it's Frank's Barbershop.
So Al's Barbershop, and these guys had all been there for decades on end. They hadn't changed. They were still talking about the same topics: tigers, weather, something above my pay grade because I was like 9 when I was going in there. They were talking about stuff that 50-year-old talks about. So. Yeah. But also another way that they haven't changed is, hey, I'm a 9-year-old kid. I'm coming in here for a haircut. Give me something that's indicative of my age. Nope. Wouldn't go there. I would always get the same barber. I would never get Al himself. I would never get the other guy that I liked. I would always get this one guy who had a comb over, and he was basically wearing magnifying glasses on his face. And he was cross-eyed. And I'm not kidding you. Not kidding you. Magnifying glasses and cross-eyed, that's who I'm getting my hair cut from.
Did he look like he was transported like straight out of the 50s?
He looked like Jerry Lewis. Like, if you've seen like the older Jerry Lewis films.
Yeah.
But, dude, he just like, nothing had changed about this guy. And I'm like, perfect. Well, I'm going to get my hair cut from a cross-eyed guy wearing magnifying glasses with a comb over. So then what he would do to me is he would give me a comb over, pretty much, at the age of 9. I'd be sitting there, and it's like snip, 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 and then the comb comes out, and it's like, dude, what is wrong with you? I can't go into school looking like this. I can never show my face.
Right. Like a Donald Trump hair like style,
dude. Yes,
9-year-old.
Yes,
dude, no way.
He was just trying to make me look like him.
That was his goal.
That's all his goal was.
You see, he puts glasses on you, the magnifying glasses.
He puts the barber cape on me. I now have a job there.
Puts a hello.
That's
my
how
name
he was
is
able
Al.
to retire. He was waiting for a kid to
hello,
look
my
like
name
him.
is Al. At first when you said you said something about he would like style your hair to be like an older person. Oh yeah, indicative of your age. I was picturing him styling your hair like an old balding guy, and you walking out of there with it bald up top and hair around the side, like an actual bald, like old senior citizen. Shaves it right here, but has the stuff on the sides.
I left there and had male pattern baldness at 9.
When I used to get my hair cut at places, it would be like a Fantastic Sam's. You remember that?
Yeah, of course.
Orange letters. Nobody until I was like 20 knew how to cut my hair because my hair is super like thick and curly. And so the first thing that people do when you go into a hairstyle place, a haircut place, Fantastic Sam's.
I would normally say salon, but that doesn't feel.
I wouldn't
salon
say
feels too fancy for Bo Ricks or Fantastic Sam's.
Yeah, same wavelength there. So like a haircut.
This is
place.
a brick building where they happen to cut hair.
Yeah.
Yes.
So the first thing you do when you walk in there is you get your hair washed. Like you can't wash my hair like every day. I can't wash my hair every day. So they're washing it, they rinse it, they put the conditioner in, they rinse it, and then they go cut my hair to the perfect length while it's wet.
Yeah.
I leave there and I look like Shirley frickin' Temple. Because it all
I'm wearing a dress.
It all scrunches up and I've got a Shirley Temple in my hair.
Yes.
But yeah, I mean like, dude, that's what happens. And so basically like my entire childhood was awkward mid haircuts that like just scrunched up and I looked like an old lady.
Yeah, man. Shirley Temple. The guy who cuts my hair, man, this guy he's sharp. He is, and he knows what's up. And he just looks at my hair. I go in there and he doesn't shampoo it. He doesn't even get it wet. He just looks at it straight on and he's like, snip, snip. He's like shaping as though my head is a shrub or something. And he's just going around snip, snip, snip. And he'll do a little fade on the sides, but where actual hair needs that body, he'll just be like, yeah, you're high over here.
Yep.
See ya. That'll be 40.
But that's like what it is, man. It's like an art.
Yeah.
It's not a copy paste like process. It's an art. Everybody's different.
I learned pretty long ago that once I was able to start getting my own haircuts and paying for my own haircuts, that I was not messing around anymore. I'm not going back to Al, No. I can't go back to Al.
Speaking of alive or dead, Al is probably dead. Would you have to say?
Mm-hmm. He was giving me comb-overs in 96 probably, so just got to add that up. Yeah, he's probably gone.
We're assuming cross-eyed magnifying glass guy is Al at this point?
He's actually not Al. It's not Al. I don't know what that guy's name was. I never cared to know, of course. I wouldn't remember anyway. But
then maybe it was Al.
Not a chance. I knew who Al was. He was always booked. Everybody wanted Al.
He commanded a certain presence and prestige.
Mm-hmm. All the guys wanting military crew cuts, all the same haircut, they had to have Al. I couldn't have him. I couldn't. Everybody knew the guy that I was getting. Nobody wanted. I had to get him. Everybody else got Al.
Man. All right. Well, I'm going to wrap the episode now, unless you guys, do you have anything else to add, either of you? I always conduct the end of this like a business meeting or something. All right, those are all the open items for today.
Yes.
How do you guys think this went?
Yeah. So next steps,
guys. I think this was really productive. Glad we did this.
Yeah.
Glad we finally got a few minutes to sit down. So
there's just something to be said about the face-to-face interaction. Yeah. But anyway, man, I love having you back, Will. It's nice to have you.
Same.
And episode 53, personally, I felt like I've had a wonderful time. And wow, Jordan just sneezed off the mic and it was silent. But I called attention to it, so we might as well just have ripped full onto the windscreen. But next time, just go for it. Yeah, like I said at the beginning of the episode, like, subscribe, share, spread the word. Spread the gospel of stouting off. We'll talk to you next time. Take care in the meantime. Bye.